Hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast with Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band. We're going to ask them some questions today. I'm going to start. So congrats on your new album, guys, Nightbird Motel. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
I feel ecstatic about the response.
You should.
How do you feel, Chris?
I feel pretty good about the response. It's nice to see that, like good old-fashioned rock and roll is still appreciated and people are still listening to it. And also seeking it out. There's been like a lot of response from a lot of different places, which is really nice.
I'm kind of freaking out because I was expecting Chris to do a bit there, and he gave me a real answer.
Do you want me to bits or do you want me to give real answers?
You know what? That was really good. That's the first time he's ever been genuine. So that is wonderful. I feel great about it. There's been so many people reaching out, and people that we've kind of never heard from before that have reached out and said that they love it, and the social media response has been great, which is good in a time where we can't really see people out in the world. So that's wonderful.
You'll have to see
Wonderful. Yeah, happy to hear that. So what was your writing process like for this record?
I wrote too many songs and then whittled those down, and you kind of bracket them like they fight each other out. You kind of find the similar ones and find which one's better, and we whittled it down to 9, and then recorded them all live after rehearsing them for a bit with the band.
All right.
Wait, so it's like a live...
It's a live record. Yeah, there's a few overdubs as far as guitars. Everything is on there. Nothing's really replaced except for a couple parts. But for the bulk of it, there's only one song where we don't use the vocal from the original take, and that's the title track. I experimented with a different kind of way of singing. But other than that, all the guitars are there, and there's no real overdubs other than a couple layering things and things for fun. But other than that, there's nowhere to hide.
It's impressive.
That's really cool.
I'm very impressive. Thank you for noticing.
So how many songs did you have written, and what was that process like getting them down to the 9?
I started with 50.
50.
We recorded 5 of those, and I kept on writing. So I think started with it. I think in the process I wrote like about 23 more. So about 73 songs.
Jesus Christ.
There's a whole lot of them. But also, I was kind of, after the fact, I realized that what I would do is I would write 5 songs in a kind of similar vein and write a final song, not taking any lyrics or anything directly from those, but finding what I like best about that style of song, which is why all 9 songs are different.
Yeah. I mean, I think this idea with it kind of goes into like others, for lack of a better term, not to sound too like pretentious, but like with other art styles, like specifically like painting and stuff like that, like you have like a study where you're like just drawing something and like working out the different ways to do something before you create the final product. So I think Connor as a writer is the kind of person who can know like, this is the style of this is how I want these verses and choruses and bridges to work together, and tries out a couple of different versions of that before it brings it to the band and like fleshes it out fully, which is, I feel like...
Yeah, I try to hide how much I work on it until I bring it to the band. But there's also like, it's more of like that it's a feel, like even less so if there's this particular type of song, I want a feeling to happen when you hear that song. So like that's kind of, I find kind of like the most potent way of finding that feeling. And then I bring it to the band, and then the band isn't finished until the band plays it. Yeah. Because the band makes it this big thing. Which is just in my head. So. All
right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I know when we chatted about the singles and we asked you about headspace for that, but I want to know just your general headspace for the record as a whole.
I've personally been really liking reading a lot of the reviews on this record. A lot of people are calling it like driving music or like late night driving music.
Yeah. For crazy people.
Yeah, for crazy people. Because like as someone who has spent plenty of time like doing a thing where suddenly you're like, oh, it's 9 p.m. and I got 2 hours of driving ahead of me, having an album that you know is going to have your back for at least 40 minutes of that always is a good thing to have. So I feel like that's a really good like starting point for a feeling of this kind of record.
I think it lends it because it can play as a live set.
Mhm.
So it's also like it feels like everything. It isn't like a concept album, but everything that happens on the record, which can be vague on purpose, so you fill in your own blanks, but it's all happening in a world. Yeah, Shane's like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Actually, I was laughing at Glory's dog, but
I mean,
She's just like,
I think
"Wake up."
there's a difference between like a concept album or like almost a rock opera that starts with like a story point, part A, and then ends another way, whereas a record that kind of has ebbs and flows and has like different things that you're exploring and different moods that you're exploring that kind of follow this path. I think this record really does start in one place and kind of end in a different spot.
Mhm.
And I also
On
like
purpose,
that,
yeah.
and that also like contributes like those. That's like as little as like as simple as like track listing. How do you put songs that talk to each other next to each other? So I think that's a little bit of what's going on in this record.
That's kind of exactly what it is. We started with those 5, and then we had some more we were doing, and then we were doing the last 2 songs, which are the last 2 official tracks on the record, which are Nightbird and Dream of You and Me. And I had Nightbird written, but then I knew the track listing with Nightbird, and I was like, I'm gonna write one final song for the record. So Dream of You and Me was actually written to end the record.
Mhm.
And it does that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Sure.
World Stops Turning is like a very clear like this is
Starter.
the start of a record, and then Dream of You and Me is a very clear like end of a record. And whether or not there's like characters or story going on, there's a feeling of closure.
Yeah, that's for people to listen to put in there. They're there, and in like those 5 or 6 songs written to make one song, they existed, but it's kind of been refined and filtered down to where it's like the most rock and roll.
It's as high octane as possible.
It's very
if you wanted, we could probably have like 3 more beers and give you even more coherent answers than we could have.
So you said you wrote the closer as like the closer for the record. Did the opener just kind of fall that way, or did you write it to be
The
an opener as well?
I wrote them both for, so like I wrote those like 50 some odd songs, and then the band, I'm usually late, but the band was late.
Mhm.
So while I was waiting for the band to show up, I wrote When the World Stops Turning. And we were going to do new music that day. And instead of showing them music I had been working on for months, I chose the one I had written 5 minutes prior.
Which is always,
you know?
yeah, I mean,
And it worked.
That's a way to do it. So
And within 20 minutes, it was ready to go and ready to be recorded.
for any of your listeners
Wait,
who are
20 minutes.
and band leaders, I highly recommend not doing that. But in that particular instance, it worked very well.
It worked very
Yeah,
well.
go with your gut.
Don't do it unless it works. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Don't do what I do
Do as I
for anything in life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, I'm terrible example.
Okay.
Okay. So while going through the album,
I
what
wanted
band or
that
artists?
to be the end of the interview. I'm
Oh,
terrible.
you want to end it there?
Thanks so much for talking, and then hang up.
Okay, bye.
Listen, if you guys want me to do an interview on Saturday night at 8 p.m., I'll do it, but I'll be liquored up. So,
Okay.
Okay,
So-
we're gonna keep riffing. I'm sorry. Your next question,
Okay.
please.
All right. While going. Okay.
Hi, Pepper.
all right, hold on.
Sorry,
I'm
my
gonna stop the interview. Can I see this dog?
Is that possible?
Yeah,
Let's
give
take
me
it
a second.
Yeah.
Because my cat might sneak down the stairs and scream, so that's
Okay.
possible.
She's working on getting Pepper. Pepper's been in the background though.
It's a good name for a dog. What kind of
Yeah.
dog is it? Oh wait, she's
That's
a big.
Pepper.
Oh, she's a little girl.
She's tiny. She's like medium. She's a miniature
hell.
Schnauzer pug mix.
Oh, she's
She's
beautiful.
like half pug, half mini Schnauzer.
She's the official podcast mascot.
She is.
And this is
She
the
has a
first
little
time
bandana
anyone's-
tonight.
Half
Mhm.
miniature schnauzer pug mix as the mascot.
Ours
You
is
guys-
Cher.
You guys, oh yeah, we have Cher from the Instagram. That's entirely unrelated. So my
We're in my bedroom.
yeah, we're in my bedroom where
At
I keep
Chris's
my
house.
Cher. That's just always good to have a picture of Cher, a giant poster of Cher in your
100%.
basement, just in case. Things
Just in
make it
case,
weird.
if you ever need it. Yeah. Well, that is the first time anyone's picked out the mascot, so I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure she's very happy.
Here's for a
Yeah.
reason.
You got the
She's-
ears, yeah.
Yeah.
She's lounging now. She's doing a great job. I think
she is. Yeah.
Acknowledge how Pepper's doing a great job.
Definitely.
Cheers to that.
Back to the questions. When you go through the album, what band or artist influence do you think you can hear, if any?
I'm terrible at that answering that. So Chris, as a guy who listened to the record, what do you think?
I don't know. It's funny because like I obviously I joined the Mother Leeds Band after a lot of this record had been completed, and also like I'd been workshops, so kind of coming in. I feel like it's one of those things where like you want to try to say like obvious bands. Like I feel like there's a little bit of Cage the Elephant in their early days, a little bit of like early Arctic Monkeys.
A Brian Bracken top pick. Cage the Elephant.
Connor's father famously loves Cage the Elephant. There's like AC/DC, but I really think it just comes from the idea, like, whenever someone asks me, like, what is Connor Bracken, Mother Leeds Band, like, what kind of music is it? It's just, like, it's riff rock. It's the stuff that's fun to play and the stuff that's fun to listen to.
There's never a boring section. So if there's a band that's boring, we're not like them.
You know, like, we were literally before... We were just playing a Bob Seger. Like, I just found like a Bob Seger live show on YouTube.
I want to be Bob Seger's maraca player.
I want to be Bob Seger because like that music, it's there. I'm sure if you like sat down Bob Seger and you're like, Bob, what's your influences? He wouldn't know. He just like, he picks up a guitar and writes a song that sounds cool and plays it with his band.
Yeah, my main thing I would say, like, just songwriting, kind of just like, you know what? My biggest influences on this record were more so like movies. Like I love movies, so like.
This guy's a film buff.
Listen, man, let me tell you about Mallrats. No,
but was that what it inspired
big
you?
influence. I'm from New Jersey. That's it.
I mean, yeah, if you're from Monmouth County, Kevin Smith influences you. But yeah, like it's less of like I don't think you could like take any one song on this record and like, you know, take it and be like, oh, this is like my attempt to write a pastiche of this band. Which there are writers that do that, and obviously there's some great songs that come out of that. You know, you hear like someone was like, what, Nirvana, like heard a Pixies song and then was like, I want to write that. And it smells like Teen Spirit. But like, I don't think this is the kind of record where you can draw like exact parallels. But obviously, there's a lot of stuff.
I'll tell you, the biggest influence is being like an actively gigging band for 3 years.
Yeah,
like actively playing and touring and doing it all DIY, but still doing it at an intensity of a full-time band, of like going on the road. A lot of these songs were written or like things were taken from the road and stuff, and just like kind of seeing a lot of America and being in a band and like kind of seeing what audiences like when they kind of get turned on during a set or anything like that. I think I was able to tap in a little bit into what people that would show up to our shows dig. A little bit. Okay. So it's hard. There's a million influences.
Okay. For me personally, it made me reach out to Bruce Springsteen's press person. So that's what this album made me do. So,
all right. It made you reach out to who?
Bruce Springsteen's press contact. It didn't work out, but it was worth a shot. It didn't work out. Never got a response, but it was worth a shot.
Exactly.
I tried knocking on his door, and this big guy came out of nowhere and kicked me out.
Yeah, we were kicked off his property. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I truly wonder, because, again, also a lot of the reviews are coming in. There's a lot of, like, the Asbury Park thing. And it's always said, like, Mother Leeds Band is a band from Asbury Park. And I really wonder if we were removed from that. Like, let's say that we said, oh, no, we're actually from
I feel
Philly.
like if we said we were from the Panhandle, that everyone would say Tom Petty.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love Bruce Springsteen, though.
Obviously, like, if you grow up in this area and you don't, know at the very least know a lot of Springsteen, I don't think you're doing it right.
I would say Dire Straits, too.
Oh, yeah, this guy, Connor Bracken, famously loves both Mark Knopfler and his amazing guitar notes.
Yo, dude, that guy's solo career is my shit. But
Ain't Too Pretty, Corned Beef.
I love Bruce Springsteen so much, but also I don't think, like, there's no, like, it's all two guitars, bass, and drums still. Yeah. And I think it's weird because there's no, like, Bruce sound on it. Mm-hmm. But I am a guy who wears a lot of denim. I yell, and I do count to 4.
Yeah,
so I mean, we have 3 there.
You've got enough similarities.
You're basically him.
Yeah.
I feel like specifically title track Nightbird, there's a Bruce vibe to it, but that's kind of just like working with the idea of like the ebb and flow of a song.
And also, I think a lot of Bruce's stuff comes from being here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So being here.
If you're on the Asbury Park boardwalk in the middle of winter and like that like freezing sea air is hitting you, you're gonna write a song.
Or you're gonna make the best Sopranos episode ever.
We're currently writing a reboot of The Sopranos starring the Mother Leeds Band.
I would so be.
Oh my God.
I would be.
Could you imagine? Like,
does that make you or Jeff Silvio?
Oh, Jeff is Silvio.
Jeff is Silvio.
What
are you?
I'm Paulie Walnut. Come on.
Oh,
I'm the guy that goes to the espresso.
Have you guys seen Sopranos?
I've never seen Sopranos.
It's good, but it's pretty. I just think about the scene where Paulie Walnuts goes to like an espresso coffee shop in North Jersey. And it's like they stole this from the Italians.
This is our culture.
And I can do that line in that voice because I'm a Jersey Italian, so I'm allowed to say that.
That didn't answer any of your questions, but continue.
I don't know.
Well, no. It was going back to the idea of like the Springsteen. And I mean, I feel like there can be a sense of like Springsteen as an albatross around the neck of any band from Asbury Park.
I'll take it.
And it's like, yeah,
fuck it,
take it. It's good, but I do. This is like a personal thing. I wonder how much like if we didn't have that mantle of being from Asbury, if people would draw that. And I feel like Nightbird specifically, probably a little bit, but
yeah, I feel like if I didn't grow up around, it's weird because I grew up not listening to Bruce Springsteen. It was just a thing in my household. We just didn't really listen to Bruce Springsteen. It wasn't until I started playing out and playing here, specifically when I started playing at Asbury, you know his pictures on the wall everywhere, and you kind of, and after gigging so many often, you like and you hear some of his interviews and stuff. I get a lot of where he's coming from on certain things because it's just the nature of the town. And also touring around, you realize there's really no place like Asbury Park in a weird way. Like there's definitely like I feel very thankful to be from here because you go and you play, middle of nowhere, blank state. You know what I mean? I don't want to single anybody out, but you'll be there and you're like, what would I do if I was me in this town? There's probably only, I don't even know if there's enough guys in this town to make a band.
Yeah,
definitely
the Asbury community of musicians is where I always say like you can be very, very lucky if you're part of it because like it is a very inclusive. I mean, obviously there's qualifiers, but like it is a community that I think at its heart is trying its best to make sure that like new stuff is being heard, interesting new voices, not the same thing again and again and again, not the same bands again and again and again, like keep letting a lot of different stuff come through. And like when you are a quote unquote rock and roll band such as Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band, Nightbird Motel out now, it's interesting to like see like Bandcamp.com. It's interesting to see like how we are just part of a much bigger thing that lets a lot of different stuff be heard, and also we fit in our own way. Whereas you go to like, again, you go to like a town, it's like, oh, this is the only venue for 30 miles, and
you'd have to move to do this.
You have to bring your own sound system, and you're going to have to play covers, or else you're not getting paid. So like having somewhere like Asbury as a home base is very fortunate.
It's freaky. You don't realize that until you leave. I thought it was like just every place has a local town where there's 7 venues.
There's 7 venues
that let you learn your craft. It'd be bad, but yeah. So that's where that Bruce Springsteen thing comes from.
That's where that
Right.
Connect them together.
So this question should be like super quick. I want you to describe this album in 3 words.
Fuck. That's hard. There you go.
High octane Vegas.
Fuck, that's hard.
Dude, fucking rock and roll.
Rock and roll. There you go.
Rock and roll.
You want to hear some riffs? Put on this record. You want to hear some? You want to boogie woogie?
That's
Woogie
like sentences. They said three.
How about boogie and woogie? Does that work?
Sure.
They accepted it.
Sure. Okay. So when live shows do come back, what 3 songs from this album are you looking forward to playing live?
Probably Voice on the Radio because I get to scream real loud.
Mm-hmm.
Photographs of Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And Read on You.
Wonderful.
I would agree with all 3, and add the caveat that voice on the radio, I get to, as a bass player, make a lot of really loud noises. That's always good. And Connor and I, because I came in after Photographs was recorded, because Cobb is on bass on that one, correct? Is it Cobb? I think it's Cobb.
Things got fuzzy in there.
Yeah.
In that, yes.
In any case, Matt Cobb, who was Connor's bassist for a while, is a great guy and a great player. He left to join the armed forces, can we say?
Yeah.
He's
currently serving in Japan.
Yeah, he's a great player and such a great dude. But I came in afterwards and realized that Connor has a very specific riff in Photographs that he repeats a couple of times. So now when I joined the band, I decided that when he does the riff the final time, I'm going to hit as many pedals on my pedal board as possible as well and follow it. And it's like this weird build that he and I have that I really love playing. I have a special moment for me in the set. Because when you see Connor Bracken Mother Leeds Band live, you're going to see that Connor has very expressive eyes. So when Connor Bracken locks eyes with you because he knows you're about to do a dual part, it's special.
Yeah, that's
special.
I think I did it. I think I did the thing.
I think you did it too. Can't wait until lockdown's over. Then, since I'm 15 minutes away from Asbury, I'll just stop by.
I thought you said I'm 15 and from Asbury. I'm like,
no, 15 minutes from Asbury.
I'm like, dude.
I love to play.
I would have asked you to buy me liquor all the time. I was like, what? This guy's fit? No. Yeah, you got to come down. We're hopefully next spring.
For sure.
Stay safe in the cold.
So we like to end these types of interviews with one very simple question. Are there any new projects in the works for the band?
Well, we have some live stuff that we've recorded in quarantine, but like a live session at the Asbury Park Brewery.
Shout out to the Asbury Park Brewery.
AP Brewery.
Oh, man.
Best shit.
Asbury Blonde is the best beer in existence, and I'll stand by that.
Go buy it right now. Available on our online store.
Prove me wrong.
But we are going to release some stuff from that. We have some alternate versions, some alternate takes coming out. And, I mean, since we have all this time, I mean, I've been writing the next record, and I think in the next couple of weeks we're going to start working on some new stuff because, fuck it.
Why not?
We do.
Yeah.
And the guy from Spotify says I need to release about 20 times a year to make money. So,
well, yeah.
I'll try.
Easy.
Just to break even on the investment.
No problem.
That's right. Things that represent you as a human. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No rush, though. Just
your artistic creativity.
No, there is a rush.
No rush. No rush. Just 20
I like
times.
Lori's like, get it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Stop
right now.
Around.
It doesn't matter how it sounds or how it feels or if it's
I got
genuine.
an iPhone. I got it.
It doesn't have to sound good.
No.
Spotify will pay you.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3/4 of a penny per stream.
I think it's like that. It's some shitty thing. But
Yeah.
yes, no, we're working on a lot. And we're working on all kinds of cool video stuff that could be coming out. To add visual to the music. So we've come under the understanding that tours and outside playing aren't going to be happening for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Have you guys met up? You guys haven't met up yet, right?
No.
I think we kill each other.
You guys you're in Virginia, is it?
Yeah.
I remembered that.
Good for you.
I want you guys to meet for the first time person at Mother Leeds Band show.
Ooh,
Come on up here.
we're gonna hold you to that. What's the
All right. 2025, Shane.
And
All right.
Probably DC.
I was gonna say DC or Baltimore, but we probably shouldn't meet in Baltimore.
Why? Have you been watching The Wire?
We're watching The Wire. Yeah, no, I think it's important. I mean, obviously, like, things are slowly opening up in Jersey. I think we're very lucky in the sense that we had we were doing a little bit better than other places in terms of lockdown.
Yeah.
And things opening up. So it's nice to see a lot of friends from, our music scene again, like, talk to them about what they've been doing. And there's been a lot of, like, everyone's like, we're doing our best to keep creating, and whether or not things get released, like, staying busy in whatever way you can, I think, is very important right now.
There's a lot of friendly competition when gigs were happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's got, like, the reason why the band got as good as I think it is because there's so many great bands in Asbury. And it isn't to compete with them to be better than them, but to be as good,
the best you could possibly be.
Yeah, be as good as you could be.
So that you know that when someone was better than you, you could at least say, "Well, I was the best I was."
Yeah,
yeah. So I think.
And when someone's better than you, you still love it. You're not like angry about it. You're like, "Fuck, they were good. That's great."
Yeah. No, there's
that's still there. That's still there for us. I don't know when that will go away, but I hope gigs come back before that.
For sure.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great, actually. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Nightbird Motel out September 25th. Connor Bracken, Mother Leeds Band. Bandcamp.com, Spotify, iTunes,
MotherLeedsBand.com,
MotherLeedsBand.com.
Buy a CD. I don't know.
It's on Tidal. Buy CDs. Connor.
It is on Tidal if you have Tidal. Does anyone have Tidal?
Connor has been sending out these not care packages, but merch bundle care packages. If you're buying that stuff from
I will write a handwritten thing to you.
It's trying to create. If you're interested in this music at all and you want to, just reach out to us because
you have my shitty handwriting in your own home.
We're just a bunch of dudes hanging out, and we like to know that you guys listen to music.
No autocorrect.
Yeah. Oh,
no.
Man.
Lots misspelled.
Oh man.
But
if you catch
it's a thought that counts.
If you catch a Mother Leeds Band post and you catch as many typos as me and Jeff, the guitar player, catch, you're gonna win a prize.
Dude, I'm doing other shit like writing songs, so an Instagram post is gonna have a few fucked up vowels.
Will he ever give me the password to the Instagram? No, he will not.
Okay, but why don't you just let the other band members run the Instagram?
Because they're not as intense as I am.
Exactly.
Like I put up all caps. So people know.
Okay, but maybe they won't fuck up the vowels.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just do a better job than you, Connor.
I think we screenshotted it. I would pull
it
up.
Bad.
There was one recently.
It's because I'm like I got it. Like we're doing there's someone emailed me and I got to get back to them. So I'm like, oh shit, I got to post on Instagram.
And
it got bad. There was one that got bad. There, whatever, man. Listen, man, I'm writing songs.
Yeah, right.
You can't hear typos. You can't hear them.
But you sure as hell can see them.
Check out the next Mother Leeds Band single. You can't hear the typos.
That's honestly not a bad song title.
That's not a bad song.
I'm gonna record it into his iPhone with an acoustic bass and electric guitar tonight.
And then you're gonna put it on Spotify tomorrow to make that money.
We have also now invested in some home recording stuff. So there gonna be
cool.
Some cool stuff. There's actually a video, the Wilderness session of Dream of You and Me, and you get to hear some home stuff.
Yeah, that was just released a couple of days ago on a compilation. Yeah. What is it?
Plug it. Play for a Purpose.
Play for a Purpose, which
is for a local charity, Eden Autism, and here in New Jersey, everywhere there's people with autism, and there's a place for them to go, and kind of do their thing and get some care that they need. So Joey from the Carousers put that together, and we're on it. That version's on it. It's not out. It's not out on anything other than a YouTube video and this. And there's 60 other acts on it, all from New Jersey. A lot of great bands, and I'm sure you've interviewed a few of them. But if you're with Dim Entertainment's with it, shout out to Dim Entertainment. And Play for a Purpose.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the exact Bandcamp link, but I just want to give it a quick
Joey does art.bandcamp.com.
Is that it? Yes. Joey from
Carousers.
Joey is an amazing guy and did a really wonderful project. So if you want to, listen to some great demos some great songs by some great bands and also help a very good cause, it's a pretty good way to do it. I would say so.
All right.
Solid.
And that's where we'll end it. Thank you for sitting down with us, guys. This has been Connor Bracken and the Mother Leeds Band, and we have a Good Noise podcast.